Okay.
All right, we are live. We're back. We're back. We're back. And let's see here. Do we have our proper view up here? Let's see. Why does this thing have me? Come on.
Frozen.
Yes, it has me frozen. Okay, so hold
The
on.
world of technology.
Yes, and I'm loving it. That's one of my gratitude days that I did about technology. And yeah, no, let's go over here. Let's put it on you. All
Okay.
right. So let's do a recap, Pashana, because we were right in the middle of some juiciness. We were right in the middle of juiciness. Going over the checklist because you were talking about
Mhm.
um you had just, and I didn't even write that number four
We're
down.
talking about the grief and acknowledge allowing people to acknowledge how they feel. You know,
Yes.
stop shutting people's down and don't allow anybody to shut you down. Don't allow anybody to make you feel bad for feeling bad, especially when it comes to, because we're talking about grief and loss. Um, it's okay. You know, that's what love is. That's what grief is. Grief is love with no place else to go. It is that emptiness that we are feeling because we've lost our loved ones. Or like I said, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, it can be something that's huge for change. Particularly around the holidays, it hits a whole lot worse when it comes to the loss of loved ones, because it is a family oriented time where
Hmm.
everybody is talking about the traditions of being able to be with family and being with loved ones and being around all these people and being in happy times. And, if you just recently lost somebody within this past year, especially those of us who lost people closer to the holidays, it doesn't feel like the holidays anymore. It doesn't feel like Christmas. Nothing, all this excitement and all the joy and stuff kind of gets taken away because we're still in an emotional place trying to get into this new normal.
Hmm.
So acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to hurt. And my advice to all my other people who are not currently grieving or have not been in this space yet, if you are going to support a loved one or friend who is going through the grief, do not tell them they need to be strong.
Yeah.
Do not tell them your loved one wouldn't want you to be upset. Do not put that kind of guilt trip on them because it's not helping. 9 times out of 10, they are not going to talk to you anymore. They are trying to be nice and, together and respectful and not curse you out, especially depending on how much in grief they are, because those words do come across your mind when you're hurting and you actually open up to reach out for help and somebody shuts you down by telling you got to be strong. You know, sometimes you don't have to, there's no answer. All they need for you to do is say, I'm sorry, or
Mm.
just sit there and shut up. Don't try to tell them, don't try to talk them out of their feelings
Yeah.
because and really what's happening in that for most people is
Hmm.
making you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're feeling uncomfortable about the situation. You don't know how to react. You feel sad that they're sad, but you don't want to cry in front of them. No, if you feel like, that thing makes you emotional and you're hearing your friend or somebody talk about losing someone and they become emotional, don't shut them down. Be there with them in that moment. Just be present in that space. You know, that in itself can be a game changer for your relationship, for your friendship, for how a person even thinks and receives you, because that level of support,
Hmm.
you know, that thing is remembered, because those are the things that a lot of us miss when we are grieving, is people who are just willing to let us be without making us feel bad for being how we, in our feelings and feeling the way that we feel. Um, the other thing is, that goes into setting boundaries.
Okay.
It's important that we set boundaries for what we can handle, what we can't handle. If it's parties, it's okay to bow out. It's okay to be like, thank you for inviting me, but I can't come this year. It's okay to say I feel a certain way. That's
Mm,
a boundary itself. Not giving in and not shutting yourself down and downplaying how you feel to make everybody else feel okay. Because then that builds into resentment. Um, Another thing that we need to look at is how to actually just embrace what's happening. It
okay.
is not a fun thing,
Hmm.
you know, but this is what new life, the new normal in your new life is going to be like. So honor your person, honor the people that you've lost. Make new traditions by honoring them.
Hmm.
One of my things that I do, I've lost my mom, I've lost my grandmother, I've lost a fiance, I've lost close relatives and friends that play huge parts in my life.
Hmm.
So, of course, as the numbers start to dwindle and you start realizing how many people that you lost, it gets really hard to be excited during the holidays because everything reminds you of the people who are not here.
Yeah.
And, you know, this person isn't here, so it doesn't feel the same way. This person's not here for this, that, or the third. So one of the things that I do is, I buy ornaments,
Hmm.
since I have to put up a tree because I have a child. Um, I have to keep going. Christmas don't stop for her, even if she's sad about it, it doesn't stop. So one of the things that we do is every year we buy special ornaments to go on the tree that are in remembrance of those people, of those loved ones.
Yeah.
Is a whole thing, saying their name, keeping them present,
Hmm.
talking about them, remembering the good times,
Hmm.
having that moment. Yeah, sometimes there's going to be tears that are going to be sad. A lot of times it's going to be that mixture where it's a good memory. I'm sad about it, but it's still a good memory kind of thing. Talking about them, the more you talk about your loved ones, the closer you feel to them, the more present they feel to you, and it takes a lot of that sting out.
Okay.
Too many times we actually get into that place where we avoid, and people try to avoid talking to us about them. They don't want to mention the name, they don't want to say anything because they don't want to upset you. And
Hmm.
really, that's the thing that's on your mind, and it actually is a place where you want to talk about them. So acknowledge, remember, honor your loved one. Set up new traditions. Create new traditions that recognize what's going on and that can celebrate this new space in your life. So if your family tradition was that, you would all um, go to somebody's house for dinner, you
Hmm.
know, it may be okay if it's a too big of a thing to start moving into that space or taking going to a special place together.
Hmm.
Start going someplace else or do something different. If you're missing grandma's cooking
Yeah.
and that's the thing that really upsets you because you're missing grandma's cooking, okay, well this year we're not going to do traditional food. This year we're going to do different types of food. So that's we can start a new tradition. It doesn't always have to be the same things all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing things that open you up to be where you can keep finding ways to find joy, finding ways to be happy. And that's another big thing too. The people got to remember. A lot of times, happiness is a choice. You have to actively choose happiness,
So how do you
especially in
choose
depression.
happy doing like you were talking about the depression, and I
Yeah,
really want us to go back to that
yeah,
because to include that in that as you build upon,
uh-huh,
the conversation,
yeah.
because like
It's
you were
been,
saying, people don't recognize
mhm,
sometimes they don't
yeah,
recognize when they're depressed,
yeah,
or they have a certain ideal of what depression is and they're
mhm,
experiencing depression and don't know that they're depressed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to acknowledge that they're depressed. Most people realize that something is off. I'm not happy. I don't like how I'm feeling. I feel bad. I feel sad. I'm crying for no reason. I don't know why I'm crying, or I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm just, everything is coming at me at one time. And I don't know which way to turn.
Hmm.
That's that feeling. When we're talking about depression, it can be if you start noticing that you don't have that desire to do anything, and everything is just blocked, and you realize that I can't tell you what's wrong, but I know it doesn't feel right. You know, I
Mm.
don't know exactly. I can't necessarily put my finger on it and name something, but I know it just doesn't feel right. I know this is not, I'm not feeling like myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, most of the time that's because something else is going on. Depression is a chemical imbalance that happens.
Right.
It's just not a state of mind and, oh, I'm choosing to be sad and I want to, woe is me. A lot of times it's the chemicals. It's chemicals that are going on. You have to take actions to pay attention to yourself. And that's a part of self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care is acknowledging yourself. Self-care is thinking about, paying attention to how you're feeling, really stepping back and paying attention to you. That is also a part of self-care. If
Mhm.
I'm noticing that I just don't feel it, if I'm noticing I'm having thoughts, even when we have those thoughts and we don't want to acknowledge it to the outside world that we having thoughts, we have thoughts. Even if we say, okay, I don't want to think about that. I'm not going to do these things. Once the stuff starts crossing your mind, that's an indication to you that something is going on.
Mhm.
That's a time to reach out to somebody. That's a time to pick up the phone. Like I said, if you can't call a friend, there are so many other outlets to be able to reach out and find a support person. Contact a therapist. Like it is no harm. Go to therapy for one session. Fill
Mhm.
out the therapist. Talk to a therapist to see how you feel about it, to see if you connect with that person or not. Because you can say, okay, no, I will get back to you about scheduling. And
Yeah.
that is fine. Nobody's going to be upset. Okay, that's fine. But you might get with a therapist that you really connect with, who can understand and empathize with where you're from and how you're feeling.
Mhm.
And you feel that relief when you have somebody to talk to help walk you through. But nobody needs to be suffering in silence. Nobody needs to be suffering alone. You know, we are in the age of social media. There
Mhm.
are so many different support groups, that you can get onto, that you can check into, that are there for you. That was a thing that really helped me a lot, during my grieving process, is getting on. I didn't have any friends who had lost a husband or a significant other, you
Mhm.
know, not through death. Yeah, people have lost folks through divorce or through breakups, but no one through, death, which is
Yeah.
a whole different thing.
Mhm.
So when I don't have anybody within my immediate circle that I can reach out to understand, I joined a couple of groups on Facebook that were support groups for people in the same circumstance, who had lost a significant other, who had lost a husband, or or fiance, that kind of thing. There are groups there where you could go in and you can express yourself with other people. It's enough anonymity to be where, you don't have to worry about it getting back out, but it's also people who could understand and empathize with where you're from. You share stories, you listen, you can read other people's stories, and you can find the commonality. And that's a big thing too, is realizing that you're not by yourself,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're not feeling this stuff alone.
Mhm. 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 So, talk about the people that. So we've covered the grief, we've covered the
Mhm.
depression, we've covered having a support system,
Yeah.
understand what's going on with you,
Hmm.
and how depression shows up, and then the lack of desire to do anything, struggling to
Hmm.
do anything.
The
It's okay not
irritability.
to be okay. Yeah, the
Yeah.
instability and setting boundaries. Now, talk a little bit about those for those people who um, don't have anybody. And,
Hmm.
it's the trend of, well, not the trend, it's the tradition of family getting together and they
Hmm.
don't have anybody. How can we
Yeah.
support those people?
When you don't have anybody, reach out for, like I said, it's common circles, social media circles. There are so many different apps out that, you can actually just do meetups and go in and join folks. Start new traditions, searching new outlets.
Mm.
And it's always, depending on where you are, reaching out for help. Do not ever just sit and suffer in silence. Do not ever just sit and say, well, there's nobody for me to talk to. You can go on Psychology Today. You could go on BetterHelp. You can go on all these different spaces and look for individuals who, you can talk to. And like I said, most therapy services when you're talking about therapists, you can reach out. They can offer you a consultation time, for you to just ask some simple questions. Schedule a basic initial therapy appointment. Talk to this person. Ask questions if you want to see if you feel comfortable, and see if it's a vibe for you. If it's not, it's okay. Try again. Try someone else.
Mhm.
Of course, we all have the church is a big thing for a lot of folks.
Mhm.
Um, if not church, if you belong to any organizations, any like fraternal fraternal organizations or sororities, if you
Mhm.
have any kind of things of that nature, reach out and get yourself out amongst people. Sometimes it's just getting out, even if it is means I'm going to the mall in all the chaos and the confusion by myself, and I'm walking around by myself, just looking at everybody else. At least I'm out around people.
Mhm.
I'm out. I'm out of this space, because some being in your head by yourself is the one of the worst places you could ever be. A lot of people talk about feeling lonely in a crowded room,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's one of those things, because we're in our head. When we are in our head and we feel like we're the only ones, it makes the feeling even worse. And that's where I talk about choosing happiness.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of effort. You have to be intentional about being happy. So that means, let me try something different. Let me get out. Let me go. It doesn't matter. If I need to go go to uh, a paint and sip, go to the paint and sip. If I need to go make candles, go make candles. Doing something creative, um, trying something different, going to the gym and joining an exercise class,
Mhm.
going out, just trying different things, looking for opportunities to do something different and new. Things that I've always wanted to try this, so let me try it. I want to travel. Okay. If you don't have friends that can travel with you, go out here and join one of these travel groups of all types of strangers that get together to go out and do these things. But just start going. Small things, but you have to be intentional, because depression and grief itself can jump on you and hold you down, you know, and
Yeah.
you don't even know that it's happening. And it becomes I'm just sad, and I just don't care, and I just don't want to do anything at all, and I'm just going to shut myself down and not move.
Right. Right.
And before you know it, that being shut down and not moving goes from being, a day or so, to weeks, to months, to even years. I'm working with clients now who have been grieving the loss of loved ones for over 5 years. You
Okay.
know, they've been going through the motions. They can tell you, I'm not myself. I know I'm not myself. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy since, this person died. I haven't done these things since this person passed. I haven't, they start self sabotaging. They start internalizing a lot of this stuff and acting
Mhm. Mhm.
out of that space of hurt. And then, you get tired when you get to the point where it's like, okay, sick and tired of being sick and tired. You
Yeah.
finally reach out, because I don't know what else to do. And, you know, they found me. We've been in therapy sessions together, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to watch people change.
Mhm.
You know, because I tell everybody, therapy, you're gonna cry. The therapist is doing their job if you're crying, but they come in the first couple of sessions, there's a lot of tears, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of upset, and it's a lot of that, talking about these things that you hadn't talked about. But as you open up and as you start doing, like I tell everybody, get a journal. Start to write the stuff down. Get it out of your head. Get it onto paper. All these thoughts that you're having, stop replaying this stuff in your mind. Because
Mm.
we have these internal conversations. We will replay things over and over in our head that will have us all jacked up, because we'll rehearse it. We rehearse our pain. We
Mhm.
rehearse those things that hurt us. We keep replaying that thing over and over again, and it has a major impact on how we feel. And we get deeper and darker into that feeling, and we keep rehearsing the same thing, and that's it. It starts that loop. And
Mm.
as long as we're on that loop, it's just going to get worse and worse. But I mean, they get their journals and they start writing stuff down. They start putting stuff out. They keep track of their feelings, what's going on, you know, and the joy of being able to see people say, I know I felt different today.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I woke up and I felt different today. I noticed the change. I know my family noticed a change. Or, hey, I haven't celebrated Christmas. I hadn't put up a Christmas tree in years. I haven't put up a Christmas tree since this person passed. So you know what? I made the intentional effort today, this year. I put up a tree. I
Okay.
put up a tree. I had one client. They put up a tree. They actually even went and got another little, like a little grave lamp to
Uh-huh.
go on the grave site that
Hmm.
they can set on a timer that had, that turns on and stuff at night. So it's like I'm bringing some of that celebration to you, to that site
Yes.
in representation that mom is included, that dad is included, that this person is included because I'm thinking about you. And it was tearful during the process of going there in that process, but then the acknowledgement of I did it, but I felt better. I did it, but it helped bring me closer. We run away from these thoughts of our loved ones when sometimes the acknowledgement brings you closer to them, and
Hmm.
it really does bring you a whole lot of peace. And I'm very proud to say watching this client change. I mean, put the effort and the work in, but the changes that I've seen, and we went from crying every session to now, they're smiling and
Yeah.
they're laughing, the whole time. Does it mean they're not grieving no more? No, they're still grieving.
Yeah.
But you're able to see, I see the change. And when you start seeing the change, it's easier to start going towards doing more for yourself to get better. And like I said, to choose the happiness.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, as we wind up,
Mhm.
we have for our listeners. Okay, so you all may not be able to see me. We having some technical opportunities, and we're keeping the ball rolling. All right. So you do see me out here. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. Okay.
Mhm.
So please follow Pashonda Hills on Facebook and, like I said, on IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. She has her own YouTube channel as well.
Mhm.
Follow her, and if you would like to have access to this checklist, we are asking for you to subscribe and join her email list, and you will definitely receive this checklist. All right. So um, you can. We'll put the link up where you can subscribe to the email list, and you can also put in the DM checklist, and we'll definitely send this over to you. And before we go, Miss Pashonda, thank you
Okay.
for sharing your story when you dealt with depression and in the
Mhm.
grieving process. And
Yeah.
that's one of your specialties as well. And
Mhm.
share can you share a few testimonies, that feedback you've gotten from some of the clients, because you've been doing this for 19 years. So it's,
Mhm.
you knew out of school and, you know, just started. No,
Yeah.
you this, as they say. You ain't new to this, you true to this.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've had the wonderful opportunity to be in connection with a lot of individuals over these years, doing the work with people, especially in the last several years of with the therapy practice, being a solo practitioner, working one on one with people. And I've just seen the beauty of being able to sit with people who express that they feel seen,
Hmm.
they feel heard, they felt supported, you know, and being in that space of being able to have understanding that you are not a broken person. We get so many people that tell us we're just broken. And it's not that we are broken individuals. We just have an issue with how we're seeing ourselves. It's an issue with how we're thinking about ourselves that can change. I've had, one of the biggest compliments you can give me as a therapist is, when you don't want to stop therapy. When I'm like, okay, I think we might need to go head on. We can wrap it up and you can move forward. And they're like, oh, that's okay. I'm not going nowhere. Uh, we're gonna schedule next week, same time. Uh that's wonderful, and to have individuals who remember and who can acknowledge and talk about, and they refer family, they refer friends, they speak positively about therapy and the process that therapy that goes through, happens in therapy, because therapy is work. It's not always a whole lot of sunshine and rainbows, especially in the beginning, and it's never fun to have somebody you know telling you or helping point out that, oh, you might be the problem in some of these situations,
Mhm.
or seeing things for what they really are. But it's always a beautiful thing when you actually get in and you start working and you start healing. Like I said, I had that one young man I worked with who, was grieving the loss of his family member, that I literally can see it's the beam, it's the smile, it's that, I felt better. Didn't wake up today saying, oh, it's going to be a horrible day today. Like I woke up today saying, "Oh, okay, I feel good," and keeping the journal. And throughout the day, and in the morning and in the afternoon, being able to say, "I can see where this has changed. I can see where this is better," and being able to share it with other people. I laugh at a lot of my clients because after they've been through the process and they start understanding, and those lights start turning on, and that those connections start being made, and they start getting it, when they get out with other people and they start, with family and its co-workers and everybody else, when situations come up where they can share this information, they share it.
Mhm.
They're always sharing it, and they pay it forward, and they all become, quote unquote mini therapists.
Yeah.
uh you know a lot of them is like, yeah, they said I need to be a therapist. It's like, okay, let's see how that goes. You can go sign up. Go sign up. Let's see how it happens. We have a lot of stuff where I've watched, I watched a lot of folks go from being um at the bottom of the
Uh-huh.
barrel,
Uh-huh.
under stress, really struggling,
Mhm.
having a really major crisis in their life, you know, going from battling and hearing voices and seeing things and these really, really severe mental health issues and
Mhm.
struggles, to being able to, uh, go back to school, graduate from universities, purchase homes, get married, have these families, and live a normal life.
Yeah.
Because, we all have mental health struggles. It does not mean that that's a weakness, but finding ways to be able to understand them, grow from them, and move forward, and having that support system to do it it's been a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. Good. 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 All right. So let's just do a quick recap. Let me make sure we got all our points covered.
Okay.
Okay. So people can schedule a 15-minute clarity call with you, discovery
Hmm.
session. You all are fit for each other if they need services. And
Hmm.
we talked earlier about the men. You've been seeing a lot. You've been having a lot of more men clients uh,
Yes.
as clients and coming for therapy sessions. And
Hmm.
so yay, yay, yay for our men folks. And this one right here, we didn't touch on this one. Navigating the
Okay.
giving without receiving and feeling unseen in relation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this goes back into boundaries. A
Okay.
lot of times we give from a place, it's an authentic place, and we feel like it's an authentic place, but we give, we do for people because we do, because in us we feel like if I do it for you, because I would want somebody to do it for me,
Yeah.
that you're going to reciprocate it, that it's going to be, it's going to be one of those things to where you're going to acknowledge it and you're going to recognize it. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't work that way. Everybody doesn't feel that way. A lot of times people take you for granted because they feel like you're the strong one. They feel like, you can handle it. It's not a big deal. It wasn't a big thing for you to do it. But when it's time for them to come back and reciprocate it back, no, you know, uh, listening to people say, yeah, I talked to them and I told them this is what I needed. And they're like, well, that sounds like a problem that you have to figure out for yourself. That's an ultimate slap in the face. I've sacrificed, I've done things for you, I've gone out of my way to help you. But when it's time for you to reciprocate, you tell me I'm on my own, or I can't do it, or I don't know, or I'm not available. Set the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have to answer the phone when they call. You don't always have to go to be the one that can, fix the problem.
Yeah.
Um, I am guilty of it myself,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be a fixer, trying to be that person to come through because I want to help you. I want to do so much for you. And you have to stop yourself sometimes. And
Yeah.
it's harder to say no than it is to even go through and get your feelings hurt sometimes because you never want to disappoint people. You don't want that to come back around.
Yeah.
But you have to start setting boundaries for yourself and recognizing you cannot pour from the empty cup. You cannot keep giving and giving and giving because a lot of people take that give for granted
Mm-hmm.
and they take advantage of it. You know, a big part of that also comes about ourselves. We are doing these things to fill a empty space for ourselves. Yeah, we genuinely want to help people and love on people, but sometimes we give so much of our own personal selves and we go out of our way because we are trying to fill in a space and we're trying to fill in a void that we are having for our own individual self. And that, going out of our way and helping other people kind of helps soothe that hunger. It kind of helps fill some of that void.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
But yeah, saying no is a complete sentence. This time of year especially, it's almost Christmas. You're gonna have people calling because, oh, I don't have my kids any toys. Oh, can't pay my light bill. Oh, my car broke down, all kind of stuff. Everybody got a sob story.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have it, do not give it. That important lesson that I learned years ago is do not let anybody borrow anything that you're gonna miss.
Okay. Yep.
So if it's an amount of money that you're gonna miss it, that's gonna really it's gonna be a major thing. Don't let anybody borrow that
Yeah.
because they're not guaranteed to pay you back. A lot of people make promises when they are in need, and then
Mm-hmm.
they get amnesia when it's time for them to pay you back. They go MIA when it's time to pay you back.
Right.
Uh, you know, they get their money, and the last thing they do is they ever worry about paying you back your money. You have to hound them down, and then it becomes your little money. Yeah, I got your little money back for you. I mean, I hate to talk to you. Well, you didn't hate to call me. So if you got a problem with me asking you about my money, then do not to pay me back. Don't call me crying and asking. That's a thing. But people will do it quickly. Everybody's sad until they get what they want, and then once they get what they want, they don't. Now all of a sudden you got all this extra courage and all this extra bravado and. Mm-mm. So don't let anybody borrow anything that you are going to personally miss. If
Mm-hmm.
that $100 is going to be the difference between you being able to get what you want and have food and feel comfortable, and them needing it, no, no, just don't give it because then you're going to be upset and you're going to be stressed out because when you call them to say, "Hey, I'm in need. Hey, can I get?" and you can be less than what they asked you for, they're
Uh,
going to tell you, "Well, I ain't got it. I'm sorry, I don't have it. Times is hard. I don't have it."
yeah.
And then you're gonna be mad, but I let you borrow this when you was in need. I let you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. People forget it, and nobody is nobody is going. They don't have to automatically pay you back. They're not required to reciprocate what you give out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why what you give really needs to be. I'm doing it for me. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it because I'm looking for you to do it back. I'm not doing it because I want something out of it. I'm not doing it for anything else except for this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, if it starts to become where you're the only one and nobody's there for you, we need to pull away. We need to start saying no. We need to start distancing ourselves and we need to start surrounding ourselves with different people.
Yep. That part.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was so much fun, and I'm envisioning everyone received valuable nuggets in here. And these replays will be posted on the social media sites. Again, follow, like, and share, and schedule your complimentary session with Prashanda Hills. All right. So, any closing remarks, Prashanda?
I just want to encourage everybody, to seek help if you need it. There's no shame in it. We all need help at some time. So reach out, try therapy out, give it a try. Don't turn it down until you try it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we definitely will be continuing to bring you more information and topics by which you can activate your body's ability to self heal, right? And embody the totalistic wellness, that is everyone. And that's covering all dimensions, all areas of your life, because it's oneness. It's oneness. So we invite you to experience what I call the power of oneness, and that is people organized with evolving responsibilities. And so Pashanda is one of our resources, one of our collaborators, because we know that one of our mentors teaches us that at Black CEO, 1+1 is 2, but 1 and 1 is 11. And so that's collaboration. All right. We get
Mhm.
1 and 1. We have 11. And so we are collaborating. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of that. And we look forward to connecting with you all. So thank you. And until next time, which will be, we'll again do this next week to get ready for New Year's. Right. And then in January, Prashanda, you will be going live on
Mhm.
Tuesdays. Was it Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Um, the first Tuesday and I think the last Wednesday of the month. Anyway, you'll have a schedule where you'll be doing your tea time with Pashanda and your Wealth Wednesdays. That's good. Mental wealth. That's what it's called. Mental Wealth
Yeah.
Wednesdays. Yeah, Mental Wealth Wednesdays. So that's exciting. That's exciting. So we look forward to seeing you. Stay connected to the pages so you can get all the deets. Sign up to be on the email list where you will get firsthand information, resources, insights from Miss Pashanda that everybody not getting. You'll get it first on the email. So thank you so much, and we are out. Take care and joyous holidays.